Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 8th of July 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute an investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so also just a quick mentioning of our JFD Bank YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of the videos that we produce on a daily basis. And of course also our JFD research page, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. So yep, I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here. But for now, let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is DAX30. So the German index continues to slide today, and of course we saw the index sliding on Friday, but let's see if the history will repeat itself again, because last time when we looked at DAX was around the end of June, and we had a similar scenario where it was after reaching one of these highs, one of these previous highs, or should I say the highest point of May, it slid back down but tested this upside support line and then reversed and pushed to the upside again. So for now, of course, we're having a similar scenario. It is sliding towards this upside support line. Let's see if it holds again. If it does that, then well, we may see another push higher. The only thing is that probably in a way, just for that better confirmation and just to be on the safe side, what you could do here is just wait until we see a nice good clear break above this 12,655 zone, 56, 55, and then aim for higher levels, because this way the index would confirm a forthcoming higher high here on this 4-hour chart, and yep, we could then aim for higher levels like the 12,740 or even above that. But again, for now the big question here is, will this upside line hold? Now again, also do not exclude a possibility of seeing a false breakout here. So in a way, ideally what we would like to see here is a daily close, a daily candle close here below this upside line. I'm not saying that it might happen today, but maybe at some point this week, maybe tomorrow. So if we do get a nice good break here and a close of the daily candle below this upside line, then yep, of course this would increase the chances for this index to travel further down. But just for that better confirmation of the downside, a drop below the 12,436.35 zone, approximately around there, could in a way do the trick here for the bears, and we could see this one sliding to the downside again, maybe aiming for this 12,190 zone or even this 200 EMA. But for now, until kind of as long as it continues to trade above this upside support line, we will remain somewhat more bullish than bearish. But again, we need that that kind of strong hold up here, and ideally we'd like to see a nice good push above this level right here near the 12,655, and then we could aim for higher levels again. So keep your eyes on this one, be very careful, and let's see how this is going to play out. Jumping into Bitcoin now very quickly on this one. So looking at this 4-hour chart, you can see that now this is what's happening. So some of you already have probably spotted this, but so it is currently in a an ascending triangle formation, or in a way it's not an ideal one, of course, I do understand that. So it's something around here basically among these lines. So we do have, I understand that we do have a kind of an empty space here, but nevertheless, keep your eyes on this key area of resistance near the the psychological 12,000 level. So in a way, if we do get a nice good push above that, then yep, the next potential target for us could be around these little highs here. So in the first one will be around the 12,262-63 area, but probably a slightly better one could be seen around the 12,445 zone, so approximately around there, and that's marked by the high of the 28th of June. Now, of course, if both of these kind of fail to withstand the bulls here, then yep, further acceleration is possible. I'm not saying anything. I mean, this could be interesting. It would be interesting to see another retest of this area here near the 13,870 zone. But first, let's go step by step. First, let's see if it actually manages to overcome some of these key areas of resistance. If of course this upside line breaks and we see a drop below this one right here, and this little area right there around the 11,100 level, something like that, approximately there, guys, then yep, we will aim for slightly lower levels initially, of course targeting this little low near the 10,760. But if that fails to hold, then yep, all the way towards the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, that could be our target for at least the short-term target for Bitcoin. But for now, of course, looking at this current activity, what we're going to do here is we're going to just wait this one out and wait for a clear break above the psychological 12,000 level. So keep your eyes on this one. Let's see if it actually manages to do that, and it will be very interesting to see if it actually can climb back up here towards the highs of June. Jumping into a few pairs now very quickly. So AUDUSD. So this is quite interesting here because I mean it's kind of moving sideways right now, but the move sideways is slightly tilted to the upside. So in a way, what I'm leading to is, and probably it will be easier to show it on a 1-hour chart, and that is a potential rising channel formation. But then again, like I said, do not do not focus really too much on it. So it's not a very nice one, let's put it that way, because we do have some overshoots here and undershoots. So in a way, keep this in mind, keep it somewhere in the side of your head. For now, of course, looking at this picture, of course, yes, it seems to be kind of respecting this, apart from this one time here on the 4th of July. And for now, what we're going to do here is we're going to focus on some of these key areas of support and resistance. So if I jump back into a 4-hour chart, what we're going to do here is, given that it's looking at this 4-hour chart, and given that the 200 EMA kind of continues to hold, and that's quite interesting here. So it kind of continues to hold the rate from moving lower. So in a way, we could expect this one to push a little bit higher here. But what we're going to do is we're going to wait for a clear push above the 0.6995 level, and only then we'll aim for these slightly higher levels. And our next potential target could be around the 0.7012. So basically just slightly above the psychological 0.70 level. And if it continues to push higher, then yep, in a way we could target this this potential upper side of, or should I say, the upper side of the potential rising channel formation. So, but again, like I said, for now, from the very short-term perspective, keep your eyes on the 0.6995. A nice good push above this could, in a way, lead this one a little bit higher. The only thing is that, guys, and the only thing is that if this, of course, if this struggles to push above all of these EMAs, like the 21 and the 50 EMA, well, I mean, then, yep, we could see this one rolling over. But the only thing is that for us still, in order to consider the downside, ideally, we would like to see a drop below one of these levels right here, near the 0.69 0.69 area, and then yep, we will aim for further declines. This way, of course, the rate would exit the this potential kind of rising channel formation, and yep, we could then aim for these levels here, like for example the low of the 1st of July, or should I say the low, yeah, the low of 1st of July near the 0.6953, and below that. For now it's of course it is still here, even though it is still right now below the pivot. Still it's kind of above the 200 EMA, so in a way we could see this one climbing a little bit higher, but like I said, we will wait just for that bear confirmation, a break of the 0.6995, and then we'll aim for higher levels. GBPUSD, now this one is well, I mean, it's flirting with this area here. Now, of course, on Friday we saw a break of this 1.2505 zone, and today we're seeing a nice good test of it. So this is where the rate is currently getting held at. If it holds, then yep, it will be interesting to see if it actually can reverse and push up again. No, that said, again, before we could kind of aim for higher levels, we need a few breaks here. We need to wait for a few breaks. So in a way, what we're going to do here is we need to see a push above this 1.2560 level, ideally above that, because this way the rate would also be placed above this tentative downside resistance line. So in a way, this kind of could create this nice short-term positive atmosphere here, and we could push, and we could see this one traveling initially towards let me just adjust one of the levels here, and we can initially see this one traveling towards the 1.2590. But if that fails to withhold, then yep, all the way higher here could be a possibility, could be good here for the bulls. So, but again, until that downside resistance line holds, then yep, we will kind of continue targeting lower areas, especially if we see another push below the 1.2505 zone. This way, the next potential target could be that little low that we saw here on Friday near the, let me just quickly mark that on our chart, and this is what I'm talking about. So this level right here near the 1.2480, this is going to be our next target if we see a drop below this 1.2505. But if the 1.2480 fails, then well, I mean, this could turn out to be ugly for the bulls, and we could see more bears jumping in here and potentially driving this one to the well, to the downside, further down. Yep, and the next target for us could be around the 1.2440 mark. Now this level, as you probably remember, that was the low of the 2nd of January, and that was the flash crash that we had on the 2nd of January. So could be a nice potential target. Jumping into a few other pairs very quickly, that's USDCAD. Now looking at this here, you can see that the Canadian dollar is one of the stronger ones today, and of course it's now pushing the pair here further down. We're still sticking to our guns and sticking to our levels here, the potential breakout levels. So on the upside, we are looking at this one right here. Even though the upside could be slightly off the table right now, this 1.3145, and in terms of the downside, we need to see a clear drop below the 1.3030 level, and only then we will aim for lower areas, because this way the pair would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could target of course the psychological 130 level and below that. So for now, be very careful. We're going to remain somewhat neutral here and just continue observing the price action. USDJPY, now I've talked about this one this morning, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on some of these levels here, especially the pivot, from which you can see the pair is rebounding and pushing higher. It's pushing back above the 200 EMA. The only thing is that in order for us to get comfortable with the upside, with further upside, ideally we'd like to see a push above the 108.62 zone, approximately around there, and only then we will aim for the 108.80, which is a very good potential target here. marked by the high of the 11th of June, and if that fails to withhold, now this is where more higher levels could be met, like the 109 level or the 109.20. so for now, guys, all eyes are on this 108.62 63 area. You can see it is getting tested as we speak. Let's see if the pair or I should say if the bulls have enough steam to push this one further up. For now, it seems like they could do that, but the next target, the next area of resistance could be around the 108.80. And the last pair for today is NZDJPY. So basically, the New Zealand dollar is the stronger one, the strongest one today, and but the JPY is one of the weaker ones. So only losing to the Swiss franc. So looking at this picture here, you can see that on Friday we had a nice reversal here from this level right here, from the 71.80. Even though we did overshoot it initially, managed to reach the 71.67, but quickly kind of the bulls pushed it back towards the 200 EMA. And today, of course, we're seeing a climb above the that we're seeing the rate climbing above this 200 EMA and also above this pivot, so today's pivot. So but what's also interesting here is what's supporting the upside, further upside, is the fact that we're now breaking this little tentative upside support line. So in a way, in the short run, we could see this one accelerating further and potentially testing this little area of resistance, which marked the high of the 4th of July near the 72.40 zone, so near that level. So in a way, we could see that level getting tested. I'm not saying maybe today, but maybe tomorrow or on Wednesday, if this of course continues to accelerate further. If this level here, the 72.40, is no match for the bulls, then yep, we will consider a possible move towards the highest point of June, which is near, let me just put this on the chart, near the 72.93 level. So again, for now, guys, we're just gonna go step by step. First, we are aiming for the 72.40 level, and then we'll take it from there, see what it wants to do. Because also something for you guys to mention, basically, given that we had a nice rebound here from this level, if let's say the 72.40 level holds and we see this one reversing back to the downside, well, as you probably, some of you already kind of noticed, we may see something here like a range here forming. So again, this is a bit too early to talk about that, but just wanted to kind of point out the significance of this area here near the 72.40. So keep your eyes on that one. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching until the end. If you want to join me tomorrow morning in my Traders Espresso, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.